morning. Beautiful out. So thanks for being here. Like she introduced me, I am Khyati Nayak. I am a director at management consulting firm Lighthouse, and I am a product management leader at my company. So I help our federal government clients basically implement the right products. If you are trying to apply for a passport, don't want to run into glitches where along with the passport you are also trying to fill out your taxes. So basically focusing on the right product so that the government ends up saving money and not wasting taxpayer dollars. I'm also on the executive board of the nonprofit called Living Wiki, which helps underprivileged women find a career path and succeed as they continue in their careers. So, and besides that, I am a wife and a mom, which being a mother is a joy, even though I may not have enough time all the time for it. So, why am I here today? I am here to talk about empowering women in IT, in information technology. That is my field and I really love it. But as everybody knows, it is a male-dominated profession. I rarely know any other women working with me, for instance, even though I went to school for computer science. There are only so many women who work with me now. So I want to go into why is that? Why do we see so few women, especially leaders in IT? So, but before I get into all that, I want to first acknowledge how fortunate we are to be here, especially women who are in the room. Just the fact that we are here, we are representing our thoughts, is something that our mothers and grandmothers would not even have thought of, right? That is, this is some opportunities which we get were not offered to generations before us, and I think we should be thankful for that. But we are not lucky enough just yet. We still see a lot of discrepancy, right? We still see that, especially in IT, there are not enough women in leadership positions or in any position for that matter. So if you look at developed nations like US, women are about 47, close to 50% of the workforce. But if you look at women leaders, there are maybe 15% of all the leaders across all industries are women. Just 15%, even though we represent half the workforce of the country. And these dismal statistics are everywhere, are in all developed nations. It's not just US where we see this. And in many developing parts of the world, things are even worse. So why do we do this? Why do we see these kind of discrepancies, especially in IT? Because IT is a fast-growing field. It has grown exponentially, and that right now there are more IT jobs than there are any other jobs in the world. There are more people employed in IT professions than in any other profession. Even then, there are such few women in IT. And when we zoom in into very specific roles that are IT specific roles, like project managers or solution architects or product managers, business analysts, etc., the things get even worse. More technical you get, fewer women you will see. So today I want to talk about why that is, what is holding us back, because there are very few cases where you will see a parent telling a daughter, don't go into IT, it's not for you, right? You are not going to be able to do it. It may be an underlying message that is given, but no one explicitly says that. We don't tell our daughters. Usually everyone says, you can do whatever you want, right? Sky is the limit. Just as long as your heart is in it, you'll be able to do it. but we still don't see enough representation. And a big factor here is the societal expectations, which are, like I said, not necessarily verbalized, but somehow ingrained. So I'll give you an example, which kind of was a jarring realization to me. This was a few years ago when I was working with this dynamic, capable, confident young woman, maybe 23, 24 years old. She was in a junior role with me on my team. So I thought she is very capable, she needs more visibility. So I thought she should do this open position. Somebody had left, so thought I'll move her into this client facing. So this was high, like Department of Defense, high expectations client facing role, and it would put her on this exponential path of career development. But obviously along with it comes high expectations. So I was very confident she'll be able to do it and she'll want to do it. I talked to her about it, and as expected, she was very happy. She was appreciative that I thought of her and not of somebody more senior, etc. But she said, let me think about it, I'll get back to you, which came to me as a surprise because I had expected her to say yes right then and there. So I asked her what was going on, why she hesitated. And she said, this basically means that I have to work long hours, I'll have a high stress, the job will be very stressful, and now if I start this now, I will probably be in that same boat for many years to come. So I said, yes, but you will learn as you go, and I've been doing this and I enjoy myself. I think you are capable enough to do it. She said, but I don't know, eventually I'll get married, I'll have children. I don't know if I'll be able to manage my family responsibilities. And at that point of time, she was not even dating. So I'm thinking, where you are looking out into the future like this and holding yourself back. But this is the situation with most of us, right? We think long term, how will I take care of my family? What will happen to my children? Even if you have children, then you are obviously a lot more worried about it. So I basically talked her off the ledge and I told her, well, you'll deal with it when you come to it. And I have a young daughter and I am managing things. So you basically figure things out as you go. Don't hold yourself down, right? So that is a lesson that I speak with all the women I work with. I basically tell them this story and tell them, see, you don't fall into that mindset, right? And this goes back to societal expectations of, as a woman, you are supposed to take care of your children. Family is your responsibility. No matter what end of the day, it comes down to you. So even if it is your responsibility, you don't hold yourself back. You can figure out how you can manage it. Then it's not only are these how we are holding ourselves back, but a lot of times we tend to have these underestimate our own abilities, right? We don't think we are capable enough or experienced enough or smart enough. Again, I have another example, which is a very personal example, in that there were 4 of us who flew into the US, this was some 20-something years ago, to study computer science, get a master's degree, and this was 2 boys and 2 girls. So when we came here, we thought, okay, we really need some kind of an assistantship or with a professor to help us with teaching or research, what have you, so that we can pay our bills, pay tuition. In a foreign country, it's not easy to survive without some kind of help. So we all sat down, we thought about how we should go about doing this. Like I said, what is there to think about? We'll just print out our resumes, go around knocking on doors, and hand them our resumes and ask them if they have a job. And my girlfriend and I thought, okay, that's a bit too brash. We should probably send everybody emails. When you meet these professors at orientations, after that you can send them emails with your resumes and a nice write-up pertaining to what they do. So I think that was a very mature, very well thought out approach, but it did not work because all these professors didn't have the time to really look at emails from some newly minted graduate students, right? It was, what really worked was somebody knocking on the door with confidence and saying, we know what you are doing and we can help you with it. I have a computer science degree. I can help you with these challenges that you are facing. That is what they needed. And that thinking back to that instance, it makes me realize how much confidence we lack. And even if I think I was a lot more capable than both those guys, so was my girlfriend, but we did not have that confidence, even though we were capable enough. At the end of this whole thing, all of us ended up with good assistantships. But that is not the point. The point is that we lack the chutzpah to really go out there and be like, yes, we can do it. Here, see, I can be the right person for you. So that is one lesson that I think all women should learn, that confidence is the key to everything. And that is one message I want to give today. If there's anything that you take back with you from this talk, is that confidence is the key. If we present ourselves with confidence, whatever is lacking or missing will be overlooked. And in many cases, nothing is missing, but we still hold ourselves back, don't feel confident enough. So that's one. And then the last thing is not claiming what is deserved. That is, I think everybody is very familiar where a project goes well, a man is leading it, like, oh yeah, it's like, I do this all the time. I know exactly how to work with my team, and I know exactly what the client wants. Obviously, I was going to be successful. Whereas a woman would be like, oh, I had this great mentor, and I just got lucky, or even worse, oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it, right? Or a combination of all these things. So another project comes along, who do you think gets that project? The person who is confident that they can do it, or the other person who thinks that it was a matter of chance, or that it was nothing that they did, whatever they did, right? So then women feel that they don't get the opportunities, or that there's sexism involved. But a lot of times, if we do some introspection, a lot of it is on us. It is not because someone thinks that men are more capable than women. It is just how we present ourselves and how confidently we come across. So, confidence. It's easy to say, okay, be confident, come across as confident, but confidence is probably one of the most difficult personality traits to achieve. If it wasn't, everybody would be confident, and then everyone would be successful, or no one would be successful because everyone is like equally confident. But in any case, how do you work on feeling more confident? Right? It's not that you are born with confidence, or that when you are a child, your experiences molded your confidence, and then you just have what you have. As an adult, you can't change anything about your confidence. That's not true at all. You can consciously work on being confident. And for me, there are a few things that really work. First of all, that inner critic. Everybody has an inner critic, and you need the inner critic to be introspective, to do better every time, right? But the inner critic should not be so negative that if something goes wrong, if I start stuttering or forget what I'm going to say during the speech here, my inner critic is not going to be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I should probably stop speaking publicly. No, my inner critic will say, okay, what happened? What did I do in the morning? Did I not sleep well? Did I not eat well? What caused me to forget those things? What can I do better next time? So your inner critic should help you do better and not stop you from action, basically, right? And then another important thing is that we tend to judge ourselves more harshly than others do. So talk to people you trust. Ask them how they see us, right? How do you see me? What do you think are my strong traits? What are my negative traits? Talk to others who can give you some feedback that is true feedback, right? Not just platitudes. That will help you level set expectations. Because if I think that, oh, I have this accent, I might be a lot more critical about it myself than others who say, oh, you do have an accent, but I never have a problem understanding you, so you're good, right? So things like that. Now, next thing that I'll talk about is define yourself. Don't let others define you, which kind of goes against what I just said. But these are your trusted core confidence, who you ask what they think about you, rather than just general population at large, right? People you work with. You don't want them to define you. You don't want them to say, oh, she is rude, or she is, a doormat, or you don't want, or a wallflower. You don't want others to define you. Anywhere you go, start out with 3 adjectives that you want to project. For me, they are empathetic, creative, and strong. So they sound like they are contradictory, but not really. So I had, some years ago, I had a performance review where they said, you are doing an amazing job, everybody loves you on the team, clients love you, you work really well with people, you're empathetic, but you are not strong enough. You are just, so I said, okay, give me an example. How can you say I'm not? What are the examples? So there were no real examples, but there was this perception. So I realized that a lot of times these subjective ideas or feedback that you receive is perception, is not really what is true. So in those scenarios, what you really do is, after that I received that feedback, which was not necessarily true, I just said, okay, I am I'm a bold person. I started talking bold, eating bold, drinking bold, walking bold, everything bold. I even started using the word bold in my sentences. That's a bold move, or I need to do something bold here. That's a bold presentation, things like that. So 3 months down, when they did another internal review, they said, oh yeah, you are a very strong, bold leader. I didn't change anything, right, except just the perception that I'm bold. Just repeating those words. So figuring out 3 adjectives that you want to define yourself by and using them. Of course, you have to inculcate them. If you want to be empathetic, you keep saying empathetic, it's only going to help you so much. You have to be empathetic in your actions. But sometimes just doing things is not going to be enough. You have to say them as well. Right? Watch the tone of your voice. Now this is a little unfortunate in that men tend to hear women's voices differently than male voices. So different parts of men's brains get illuminated, like you see those pictures in medical pictures in journals, that when women talk, it's a very complex circuitry of men's brains that come into action. When men talk, it's straightforward, so they can understand the point being made right away. Whereas with women, it's a lot more involved. It's like listening to music. So you have a lot of complex circuitry going in there. So many times when women feel that men don't listen to them or they ignore them, it is not necessarily because of sexism. In many cases it is. But generally, to give benefit of doubt, it is that their brains are not wired in that way. And unfortunately, we have to modulate our tones and voices in a way that men can understand, because we are in a male-dominated society, male-dominated profession. So it is what it is until things change significantly, right? So, and in order to change the tone of your voice, just speak loudly, project yourself, project your voice. Again, speak with confidence, speak slowly. If you get excited or agitated, if you are under duress, take even more care to speak slowly and clearly. And choose your words wisely. Like, you may tend to say, oh, somebody is presenting, I'm so sorry, I have a question. No, don't say I'm sorry. Say, I have something to add here. Or maybe there is something missing. Or maybe you can clarify this further. Right? You are adding to the ideas that are being presented. You are never going to be sorry. In fact, men don't say sorry as many times as women because they don't see any need to apologize. Not because they are rude. Women just unnecessarily feel the need to apologize all the time. Then enlist an amplifier, right? Somebody who repeats what you say. So I had this friend Amy at work when I was much younger, who would say, oh, Khyati just said this. Did you guys hear that? It's a great idea, etc. She would repeat whatever I said so that nobody else got credit for it. She would say, I said it. And I would do the same for her. This was a technique that was employed by people in the women administration as well. All these women repeated what they said, just to make sure that they were heard. Use confident body language. Take up your space. Women tend to, take a little space, stand like this, talk slowly. No, take up your space. No, men would do like this. Everybody talks about the man's spread. Do the woman's spread. Take up your space. Do it, because then you come across as confident. Then you own the room. You are not going to be, nobody will say that, oh, you own the room, be confident. You have to do that yourself. Tell others that you own the room. Sit at the table. Women tend to sit on the sidelines, not sit at the table many times. Don't do that. Even if everybody at the table is some high-level people, just go sit at the table. Then somebody will say, oh, you are too junior, move over there. Then move, but first go sit at the table. Introduce yourself. When I started this presentation, she did a long, nice introduction, but I still introduced myself. I said, I'm Khyati Nayak, director at Lighthouse. I did not hesitate to clarify who I am. She did say that, but if I say it myself, everybody remembers what my title is. And men tend to create this pecking order in their heads as to, okay, who is this person? Where do they stand? Where is the pecking order? Even if you are a junior person, you still say who you are. Oh, I am a junior tester. Why? Because then men will remember you, what your role is in that meeting. Why are you here? Not just, oh, this is who I am, and that's that. If you clarify why you are there, people will remember what you said. People will remember what ideas you contributed. And that goes a long way in having a successful career, especially in fields like IT, which are very male-dominated. How much time do we have? So this is all the good stuff that works for women who are already in this profession. But like we discussed, the problem really is that very few women get into the IT profession to begin with. So how do we address that problem, the root cause? How do we get younger generation to get interested in IT? And yes, tell her to do anything. Everybody says that all the time. It has become like a platitude, You can do anything you want. So, yes, but be more specific. You can do anything you want. You can become, I don't know, CEO. You can become Sheryl Sandberg. You can do coding. You can become an astronaut. A number of technologically challenging professions. Be very specific. You can do anything. She is thinking, oh, maybe I can become a ballerina. No. Be very specific about what you can do related to IT. So encourage her to think about IT professions. So maybe if you are not in IT, research IT professions. What all is out there? What all they can do now with artificial intelligence becoming the talk of the town now? Maybe they can start looking into AI. Help them understand how they can open up ChatGPT and show her how it works. Let her play around with it. So just interacting with technology, with our kids do all the time, that in itself is very encouraging for them to be motivated in that profession, right? Like your daughter, for instance, loves TikTok. Everybody loves TikTok. So talk to her about how TikTok has helped through natural disasters. We feel that TikTok is this negative thing where there's doom scrolling and there are challenges, yes, with mental health. But there are also some very positive things. Like in Australia, when there are all these wildfires, they use TikTok to send messages around quickly to let people know that there are wildfires, please evacuate. Biden's campaign used TikTok for campaigning. Student Aid uses, Department of Education uses TikTok to let students know when their loans are due, if their loans are forgiven, etc. There are some great uses of TikTok which we should research and let kids know so that they get interested in more than just those videos, which irritates the heck out of everybody. But suggest joining tech clubs and camps. All the schools have tech camps, which are again dominated by boys. But encourage your girls and her girlfriends. Girls tend to do better when they are with other people they know really well, right? That they hang out with. So 2-3 girls get together, get their parents together, make a plan for them to get interested, join them. Make friends with those boys and their parents so that they can all interact, that boys can see that girls have something to contribute, that they have good ideas. And connect with tech organizations. There are a lot of organizations out there which are looking for girls to join tech. Like there are girls who code, women in IT. There are so many tech organizations that want to encourage young girls. So look for those in your area and connect with them. See how they can help your particular child. Or not even your own child, but any young person in your life, right? Visit tech museums. There are so many museums that you can go to just to spark her interest. You never know what she might get interested in. How tech solves world problems. Like there are innumerable examples. I talked about TikTok, but how there is like these IT satellites that helped Ukraine get internet access when everything was down and due to Russian attacks, right? So show how tech solves world problems and also creates world problems like the issues with Facebook, for instance. And you also get interested. Don't just shove it off to her and say, okay, here, see what you can do with it. Maybe you also get interested, something new to learn as well. And find mentors and role models. If you are not in the profession, find someone who is. Have them talk to her. Have them speak about the challenges they faced and the successes and how they enjoy their work, right? So I guess I have been talking for way too long. Any questions? And make it natural. So I think all these things that I said don't just apply to a work meeting or like how I present myself in front of these professional men. Like it impacts everything that I do. So if I'm empathetic, if I don't apologize, if I am interacting with other men in my life, and I tell them, I don't say I'm sorry, I say, hold on, I think there's something you're missing here. My daughter is listening to that. She is looking at how I am interacting with others in my life. And she is going to do the same thing. These generations of men, they were not just born with the idea that they necessarily own the world. They have seen their fathers and grandfathers behave in that way. And then they think they can behave in similar fashion. That's what we need to do with our daughters and other women in our lives. Yes.
So I past project manager 27 years, and I'd just like to have you talk a little bit to them about the fact that as women, we naturally are project managers. We manage our home, we manage our budget, we know how to be on time, we know how to be creative and innovative with our kids. And so when you talk about project management, it isn't just in corporate world, really, it's to help our nonprofits, it's to help anything that we do. So talk about how you see project management being extended beyond just what we do today.
Exactly. And when people say, that's such a good point, when people say, oh, she is just a stay-at-home mom, she is just taking care of her kids, that's not like a small thing. I don't see many men, even if they are stay-at-home dads, I don't see them do it as successfully because time management skills, managing schedules, it's just the number of things you have to do is unbelievable. And women just start born with that capability, I feel. Or maybe, again, going back to that nurturer mindset, we just learn to do these things right. Thank you, that was a very good point.
May I add a couple of comments to
Sure.
what you said from the neuroscience perspective? I know you talked about the spaghetti brain. Well, that actually serves us very well in many respects. Women are naturally, scientifically proven, better at multitasking. It's also their nemesis. They took it too far. Okay. And then when we talk about men and women, communicating in the women's use of words, we actually have like 6 different verbal centers in our brain. Anybody know how many men have? I said last night. 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they're very focused on task and keep it short and simple because they don't have connections, great connections that women do. And yet, again, I do a lot around how men and women speak and how to do that in the corporate world. And because as women, we have a natural gift for words, but it can also be our downfall when we're not in the right setting. And so it's really learning how to. I like to say we want to come across and speak with somebody in a way that they want to stay engaged with us. Right. And so that's where shifting how we do things. It starts with us, not to get rid of what we are so good at, but to modify how we do it.
Right. So leveraging our capabilities in a way that works, rather than letting them bring us down. That's a very good point. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.